Hi everyone, this is Forkosigan78, and in this video I'm going to show one of my custom Lego builds that I like to call Godric's Castle. For this MOC, I was just going to create a kind of clean, fantasy-ish castle, one that looks very smooth, like it was just built, and basically I wanted something that was a reasonable size to keep on display, with just some nice details, but I don't like to get too intense into greebling or anything like that. Like I said, kind of a classic look. So basically it's just the gatehouse, a couple turrets, and a portion of wall, with a little moat around it, and a little bit of the land around the moat to give an impression of what the rest of the world's like. Give a little view of the side there. So I'll talk about some of the techniques that I use here. So these arrow slits, common on medieval castles. It's a pretty common technique. Basically, you can use either what I have here, which are the cheese slopes, the 1x1 and 1x2 cheese slopes on some 1x1 snot bricks with just a normal brick spacing in between them. And this works quite well to give that cross-like appearance you see here. So you could use a crossbow or a normal bow. An alternate way to do this, you can see over here, is just using a tile and a plate. I think that the cheese slopes look a little bit better, but for a little bit of variety I use both techniques around the model. Now this is not a real overly complex model in terms of techniques. It's pretty much bricks on top of bricks, not any real snot or anything, but that's kind of just what I was going for, something that looks like the older castle models, but just a bit more elaborate. One thing I'll show on the sides here, so the turret is a little bit rounded, good for deflecting some catapult shots, and to match the top. And so to do that, using these what are called faceted bricks, I had to look that up because I wasn't really sure how you would call this. Basically, the one issue with these, because they're kind of an L-shaped brick to start with, it's being kind of cut off there. If you have a big stack of them, it's a little bit difficult to tie them into the walls around. So, common thing to do, I've done here, is to every 3 of them, I would put a 1x1 snot brick with a cheese slope on it, on top of the one stud, and then a brick that ties into the rest of the wall on the other side. So that means every 3 bricks it gets tied back into the rest of the wall. So what you want to avoid is potential of too much of a kind of gap appearing here if you have just really a big stack of these that's only tied together at the top and bottom. So this ties it in a little bit more, and you get this little variety of having these cheese slopes. You could alternate their direction, but I ended up just going with them all on this side. I'll show a little bit of the side of the model there. Similar style to the front. And I get a bit closer. So this doesn't really have much in the way of functions. I didn't make a you know, a way to wind up the drawbridge or anything. But anyway, still try to give it a realistic look with the chains there. And the portcullis there, hanging down. You notice these kind of diamond patterns on the tiles. Those are actually transparent stickers that I made for a different MOC. Got to reuse here. I think they give just a nice variety. Of course, you could use some angled tile pieces to produce an effect like this. But those pieces are fairly recent introduction and getting more common, but didn't always have, you know, those kind of triangular 1x1 tiles and everything that have been introduced in the last few years. So stickers was another way to do it. Alright, so looking at the interior, just a simple courtyard showing off the red and white colors of these old kingdoms, crownies, and just some vines here that give a nice little splash of different color in the interior. Of course, this is very much a light gray castle, pretty monochrome. But that these microfigure guys were provided a good effect of like carved you know, figures that you might see just detail in a wall of like a medieval structure, along with the sunken windows. Gives a little bit of accent there. There's nothing really going on in the interior of this. I mean, I try to keep it clean because it is open, but yeah, I didn't really put any effort into those hallways. And then just looking at the top a bit, some simple parapets, little ladders to get up to the turrets, a door to get down into the gatehouse there. Just give it a view looking down from the front of the castle. And I considered I might expand this later with some more wall, a keep, you know, additional courtyard. So I put some Technic bricks there just in case, but so far this is the only portion of Godric's castle that I've made. Well, there you go. Hope you enjoyed seeing this MOC. Something a little different from all the Mario MOCs I've been showing. I'll have some other medieval fantasy MOCs to show as well, as this is honestly probably the primary area of building that I've done up until recently, when I started getting into the Mario stuff as they came up with that. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Take a look at my other videos and subscribe. Thanks.